What do you do with Kamaru Usman, right? And there's guys that I care about, like, I don't mean from a personal standpoint, like I care as a fan. I do care when they're going to fight. If there's an announcement, I'm going to make pieces on it. I'm going to build it up, and I'm going to mark that on my calendar, at least my mental calendar. And Usman is one of those guys, but I can't hold on to that forever. Okay, if Usman or anybody was to sit for a year, we don't need to discuss how they're going to do anymore. We can still want to see them fight. We can still support them and do really nice things. If you sit for a year, your time is now done. It doesn't matter if it's an injury, it doesn't matter if it's illness, it doesn't matter if it's your inability to get a fight. It doesn't matter if the promotion doesn't have an interest in you to an extent that they can financially honor your contract and give you a match. It doesn't matter what the reason. If you sit for a year, we don't have to do the competition. We can do it for good sporting exercise, but there is nobody good enough in a competitive division, and 170 is very competitive. There's nobody good enough to sit for a year and come back and be meaningful. That's just the truth. From the day a Kamaru Usman fight gets announced, it will be 3 months until they get into the ring. Okay, he fought in March of this year, which means he has 2 months. If they don't announce his fight in the next 8 weeks, that automatically will push it till March of next year, which will make it a year, which will make it irrelevant. It won't matter who the opponent is. A guy on his best of times is going to be in a very trying situation to go 25 minutes. The human body is not made to go 25 minutes. Every guy that's ever taken illegal drugs in this sport is taken it for the same reason that the guys that do the Tour de France take it. The human body is not made to do that. I bring it to you, it's very relevant because I don't know what's going on there. That is a meaningful guy that deserves more respect than he's being shown. Now, if he doesn't want to fight, we're having a totally different conversation. No problem. No, but he has definitely done enough. But that's not what we're being told. We're being told just the opposite. I believe that Kamaru Usman should go to 185 pounds. That's Chael's belief. Now, I also followed Usman as a wrestler who wrestled at 184 pounds. So I know that size is not an issue for him. That's his actual size. None of you got smaller with time. None of you weigh less now than you did in college. He does. He does. He used to compete at 184, and then he spent a decade down at 170. I mean, not for nothing, he could go 185. And the reason I like that, I like the parity. It's an easier weight class. Right? As you get older, you're always looking for something easier to do. The higher you go in fighting, the worse they get. You want terrible guys, you barely even have to know how to fight, go up to heavyweight. Start working your way down from there. You want to get really good and get really good skills? Great. Go to a lighter weight and prove it. But the heavier you go, the easier it gets. And the reason that Usman didn't go 185 already, the reason he didn't do that is he didn't want to have to fight Adesanya. I get that and I respect it, and so do all of you. And we've interfered with plenty of things, from teammates to friends, but we never interfered with the reason, with the nationalistic ties where Usman and Adesanya showed each other a respect. We never interfered with that, did we? So we understood that. Usman was willing to fight Chimaev, even wanted to fight him, but would not fight him at 185 pounds. It was never disclosed why. I'm here to tell you why. It was not a size issue. Usman is just fine at 185. I'm telling you that until I'm blue in the face, but it's true. He didn't want to do it at 185 because it would have become a number one contenders match. And if he beat Chimaev, which he planned to do, he did not want to be in a position where he drew into Izzy. He didn't want to put you guys as fans in that position where he goes, hey, I'm sorry, I got in this spot, but I'm not going to do it. He didn't want to do that. So he got ahead of it. He was professional. He was upfront, and he just tried to change the way. He would have done it at 183 pounds. He would have done it at 183 and 3/4 pounds. He would have done it anything but 185 for that very reason. Now, there is a skunk at the garden party as it pertains to Paulo Costa versus Chimaev. If you can get that fight in the ring, if you can get that fight to the ring, you have a big success. But before you promote that fight, before you market it, before you name it a number one contenders fight, all energy has got to be to get that fight in the ring, because that is not on track to happen. So the move, now that Izzy is not the champion, Izzy's not even pursuing the championship. Izzy is not called for a rematch, which he could get like that. He hasn't called for it. He is stepping aside to give Sean a moment and to give the whole division a moment. So if Usman was to come up now, the landscape is totally different. And the opportunity is only a month away. It is paramount that they have a backup fighter in Abu Dhabi for Paulo Costa versus Chimaev. It is paramount. And it can't just be anybody, because that's the feature match. That's the main event as far as we're all concerned. That's the match that we're all getting ready to see. That's the match that was promised 6 months ago. That's the match where a fight was broken up in Salt Lake City to make it happen. That's the match, and we all know it. What you don't know is getting them in the ring at this point is going to be very difficult. So when and if that news comes out, the right guy has got to be ready. It's the whole card is dependent on that. The right guy is not Jared Cannonier. I'm not saying that to be negative. It's just not. The right guy is out there. The right guy has a name. The right guy's already asked for the fight. The right guy's in shape and he's ready, because he's always in shape and ready. And the right guy that needs to position himself today, because this is less than a month away. Right guy to fill in for Paulo Costa or Chimaev, whichever one of them blinks first. And they're both blinking right now. Little inside news for you. Right guy is Kamaru Usman.